Right, today I'm going to do a video on batteries. Just purchased a battery for my ZRX Kawasaki 1100. I think the 1100 and the 1200 are the same batteries. I think the same size anyway. But online, there was one other cheaper one, and it was, I think it was 12 amp hour, obviously all 12 volts. And this one's 150 amp. I think the other one might have been like 130 or something. But they both listed for the same bike, but there was a slightly cheaper one, and it was 12 amp hour. So I paid, I think it was about £8 more, and I got the 14 amp hour. Just give it a little bit more oomph, like, you know, when you're cranking it over. But got this one from eBay, and I'll probably send you the link. But it was from Tanya Limited, and there was the cheapest on there, and I believe it was £38.99 or £39, which again was very reasonable. Obviously you have to scout around. If I find the link, I will put it on there for you as well. And yeah, also I purchased this Oxford oxidizer as well, as like a trickle charge. I tried two more, and I just found this one. I thought I'd give this a try, and that's the company. I think that's actually, they make it, yeah, it is Oxford. So that's the company, that's where I got it from, and the price is £26.99, including the VAT. But you can, again, buy different types, different makes. And I've got another type over there, which I said in a previous video reviewed, which weren't bad. But so I bought them too, and then just searching through, I came across this one as well. So I'm going to try this one out today, and I'm going to install this battery, and I'll come back to you in a bit. I'll just get my tools ready, and I'll take the seat off, and then we'll start pulling the other battery out. Right, so over on the, I think it's a 99 ZRX 1100, and of course the seat lock is by the side panel. So we'll remove this seat. Stick that down there. I did actually, on the other video, I put in a battery conditioner or optimizer, which are there, which I think they're made for Oxford, but they're like a non sort of branded make. And I tried it on there, but the battery had it, like, you know, it'd probably been sat there for too long and not had any power going into it. So I'm going to change the battery anyway today. So on the ZRXs, there's a little flap that sits on top. There's a plastic cover underneath. If this will come off, that's sorry about the light, but that's the panel, and there's a little clip on top, like a little spring clip, which you just push in and it will clip out, and you got the two locating pegs at the bottom. So that's in there, and you just slide your finger underneath the battery, and it should wiggle out. You can get out a certain way out, and then you have to obviously undo the, that's better light there, undo the two terminals. So obviously the left is the positive, the red, and the right will be the negative, which is the black. So I'm going to unscrew that, and then I'll come back to you in a minute when I've pulled that out, and I'll compare the two batteries together just to make sure they're the right size, and just of interest to see how many amp hours the original one had, if that is original. Right, I'll come back to you in a bit. Right, on the, to get the actual battery out at the bottom, you have to undo the two, well, I use a screwdriver, I think they're 12mm or 10mm bolts on there. So pull that out, and then you can pull out the actual air filter, which looks a bit cruddy to me. So that will need cleaning in petrol, and then oiling again. It's like a K&N type filter anyway. So yeah, that'll need a good dunking in petrol, and then clean with 2-stroke oil again. or lubricating, shall I say. So now with that out of the way, that battery should come out. Yeah, right. Obviously it's not original. Yeah, as you can see, that is 12 amp hour. So maybe the 1200 is a 14 amp hour, but physically the same size. But I just think they maybe got a slightly bigger alternator on there, and it just takes a bit more power. But as I say, that's got a bit more guts to it. So as for cranking, there goes the nuts out there. For cranking and stuff like that, it just have a lot more power in it, a bit more longevity in it. Right, okay, that's that. I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, I have these two batteries side by side. This one is a new one, is the 14 amp hour. This one was the old one, was the 12 amp hour. It does look, or is it just me? And maybe a bit of an optical illusion. But if you look down the front, can you see how concave that is? Not the front side, the side. That there is really sucked in. Can't really see, my fingers aren't really that straight. But yeah, if I hold the camera at an angle, you can see that's really gone concave there and sucked in. Whereas that's the new one, which is pretty flat. So I reckon it's obviously got a bit warm, and it's sucked in a little bit. So maybe the cells have dried up, I don't know. But that side's not too bad on the back of it. But observation wise, it doesn't look too good. So yeah, I'm going to put that on. As I say, there's the 14 amp hour, and this one 12 amp hour. So I'm going to put this in then, and then I'll come back to you when it's connected back up, and I'll try and start it up, which hasn't been run for probably 6 months. So we'll give it a go. Right, we've got the Oxford Optimizer, sorry, 900 open, and straight away we can see it's quite a nice quality actually. And this is the power lead that goes onto the battery on the motorcycle, and it's actually got like a rubber rain cover to go over the connection that goes under the seat. So obviously this goes in the wall, so we can plug that in for the minute. And obviously it's a 240 volt coming to there, and then we've got a little optimizer charger unit which is there, which will plug into that. As I say, this is a battery lead which goes onto the motorcycle battery. Let me just pull this section off for a minute. But no, I don't know why more don't have this waterproof cover, because obviously it's open to the elements. You get water in there. I know it's under the seat, but it's still a little bit hanging out. But that looks a slightly bigger. Where's the old one? Right, that's off of the other system. It looks, I don't know, it just looks a little bit better quality plug. It's probably the same size, but just nicer plastic or better quality. But say it's enshrouded in rubber, so it's a little bit better duty, and the cables are double insulated, so it's a bit nicer. So I say the battery's in there. I'm just going to connect this up now to it, and then I'll come back in a little while. Right, we've got the battery back in there, and we've clicked the alarm horn. I presume that is back on there. The filter's back in there. Haven't cleaned it yet, but it's in there anyway. So it's all clipped up, connected up, and there's the wire for the charger, which will just tuck in neatly under there, under the seat. But that's the focus, please. Right, that's the optimizer. Now it's plugged in and it's switched on, and it's showing 13.8, just going up to 14 volts, which battery was on about 13.5 So that was obviously as it was delivered from new. And it's showing it's putting in their 0.22 amps, presume going in there. So this one hasn't got the ability, I don't think, to screw it to the wall, unless them rubbers come out and screw in there. But it's not the end of the world. I don't mind having a freestanding one, although they slot in there. If I right, yeah, it was just trying to fire off camera, but petrol stinks. So just one sec, just let me turn on the immobiliser. Yeah, it stinks, so I think I might have to drain the carbs and put fresh fuel in. That's running. I won't pollute the house out with smoke. But yeah, so I'm going to get a nice day. I'll move some stuff out the garage and I'll drain the carbs down. I tell you what, I do want to check as well, that sometimes I know the fuel taps leak or the fuel bowls leak, and then it puts petrol into the oil. So I want to check the oil, make sure it's not over full or there's any gasoline in the gearbox oil. So I'll do that on another day. But that's all working now. So the battery's nice working. The optimizer charger is working, and I'll put the seat back on, and then I'll have 3 batteries up and running now. 2 bikes running now, unfortunately, and another day I'll get the XJR working. When I go back to work, I'll get a new set of carbs for that, I think, not brand new, but a second-hand set of carbs, put them on there, and so I can start fresh. And another video, I'm going to take the carbs off the CB750 and give them a bath in the ultrasonic cleaner and get that running nice. I want all my stuff up and running rather than basket cases. Right, that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.